أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. صدق الله العظيم. Dear respected brothers and sisters and beloved children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I bear witness that none is worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I further testify Sayyidina Habibna Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is last messenger and his servant, to whom Allah guides, nobody can ever misguide them, and to whom Allah leave to be misguided, nobody can ever guide them. This is what we believe. Having said this, I stand before you having recited the verse from the Holy Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us as believers and to be mindful of Him. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih. How much should we be mindful of Allah? The way He has right to be mindful of. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And die not unless you are in the state of Iman. This ayah is very interesting ayah. It starts out addressing the believers and wants them to make sure that you remain Muslim until you die. That tells you a lot. That is not to take the religion of Islam and being a Muslim for granted, but constantly work and be concerned about the health of your relationship with your Creator until you breathe your last. It is when we become comfortable in any position, be it is your financial status, be it is your driving profession, or in any profession that you are, then you stop making progress. You stop being very concerned, and that's when you're more likely to make accidents. So beautifully Islam puts it. This key point that I wanted to talk about is, if there is one thing that remains with Muslims and stays with Muslims, and Muslims are good about, is their belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah for that. And if this is one thing that they would do anything but would not compromise in the matter of the deen, that is the assumption and perception of others of Muslims. That no matter what you do, you cannot rob them of their belief. And with the world communities look up to our community saying that whatever it is, there is something about Islam and Muslims, whether they practice on a regular basis every aspect of their deen or not, they will continue to say they believe in oneness of God. And that is the least we should at least be concerned at all time. And even that perception of others that they have of us is changing from within our communities, unfortunately. From within Islam and Muslims, we are seeing growing number of individuals who are questioning relevance of the Quran itself. Now the attack is on the Quran, its authenticity, and the next thing is the existence of God. Today we stand. I've been giving khutbahs in US for the last 30 years. There were days when we used to argue and talk about where should we fold our hands, should we be moving your fingers or not, should we do Rafa'adain or not, all of these things. We passed through this. Then we have found the attacks on Islam and Muslims where the things were called fanatics, fundamentalists. At that time we did not pay much attention, even though when it was brought to the attention of the believer, they said, we'll just find it, we'll just say it. Well, we need to do something about it now, Then they moved on to every name in the dictionary that you can name was labeled to Muslims, even though Muslims did not do much. Then we saw the trend where the attacks were made directly on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They wanted to see what is the relationship of the believers and how would they respond to it. Yes, we did respond to it by taking to the streets, having protests everywhere across the globe. Depiction of the Prophet, all this happened. We chased it out here in the United States of America when we have Stand with the Prophet movement. We chase everywhere, wherever they want. And that's why you don't hear them anymore. But that did left some kind of damage to the Muslim youth. Where certain individuals made their mission to talk Muslim out of following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as it was not, according to them, was divinely revealed instructions, it was given by a human, then it is not required for them to follow it as seriously. When they got them to buy into it, then they moved on to attacking the authenticity of the Quran itself. And next you would know is the existence of God. Why am I painting this picture for the last 30 years what has happened in America? You're all people of understanding, carry head up your shoulders. Though today's khutbah across the globe might be addressing very, very issue that you almost be thinking in your head would be the topic of the khutbah today. Yes, that could have been the same with me if I had been asked to give khutbah elsewhere other than this in this setting. This setting is totally unique. I'm not going to challenge your emotions, nor am I going to paint a gruesome picture of what is happening out there. Nor will I make this pulpit another media outlet. You know better than, not more than I know in that respect. What I'm about to do is to seize my opportunity to talk to individuals who are able and capable and fully resourced and capable of understanding and analyzing the situation. And by the grace of Allah Almighty, inshallah, and I pray that this crowd will become the leaders in the communities wherever they may go. And the message and the lessons that they've learned from this khutbah, it will resonate with them for the rest of their life and may give, even if it is to one individual, a vision and purpose in their life to dedicate and to make difference in the life of the humanity, and particularly those minorities who suffer from the hands of those individuals who have no mercy at all. With that, when I talked about in the last 30 years how we Muslim Americans have seen this change that not has come to this point. This was just one example. Apply this to everywhere, in every corner of the world, in every community where the minorities or victims, not limited to Muslims only. Those things gradually escalated to this point. There were times when Muslims used to say labbaik to the famous hadith of Rasulullah that united al-jasad, one body. When one part of the body aches, the rest of the body feels. That was the condition of the Ummah back then. If one person is hurt, and when we used to know when the limited sources that we had of the media, the news did not travel as fast. By the time it has reached us, it was very old. Even then, we responded so quickly to the best of our ability and forcefully. And we raised concern, we discussed about these things with our loved ones. And our mood had changed, we remained depressed. We felt the pain, that's what I'm trying to say. But now, with this current media that we have access to, that we learn within minutes while they're still bleeding, our hearts don't even bleed anymore. Our eyes don't even shed tears anymore. We have become numb. We no longer respond. We take shelter in hikmah and maslihah. We comfort ourselves by giving penny change to these causes. We try to distract ourselves just like we change channels. And when we get busy with something else, after having done what we could do, that we believe that we have done our part as Muslims, while the suffering does not stop, the bleeding did not stop. That person, that family, that community, is continuously bleeding, and we have no regards for it. I want to bring this to everybody's attention. Is this what Rasulullah would have wanted us to do? Is this what our commitment to Islam and Muslims means? If it's worth your best. This is the best that you could do. Certainly, I'm not suggesting or encouraging anybody to stop your studies and do whatever you're doing, drop and just run. No. There's more than that we could do. If we organize and prepare and understand and analyze and think one thing, that is, are all of these things are happening accidentally? Very strong and deep question I'm raising here to the individuals I know who think. Is it happening by itself? Or somebody is orchestrating it? Somebody who's planning this? Somebody is literally raising the bar little by little, pushing it to the limit. Somebody have already planned what they want to achieve, but they know they cannot go straight, but they will have to go in step by step. We saw the maps of Palestine, from different colors to reducing the green being completely wiped out. It didn't happen overnight, did it? Steps. Making individuals numb and make them forget and make the situation so bleak and cause them to believe that it's not even worth investing in it, that it be so be it. There is this movement that is going on. There are individuals who have no better job than to put together a plan like this. There are millionaires who invest their money in this regard, only to take Muslims away from the true teachings of Islam. For long, Aimma, ulama have been long accused, or they're always fear-mongering. They're always trying to look at the other side and look bad. We painted this picture to them. We said that you guys are really not representing the true picture. Now the resources are there, evidence are there. It was no accident, it was planned. Results: our children are being snatched from under our noses. My beloved, to whatever they're doing, whatever their intention is, our intention was totally different. Our mission and purpose is totally different. Our calling is different. Our belief is different. Every single thing about Islam is different than what they represent, what they talk about, what they say to you. We follow and we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whose attribute is as-salam. He gave us the religion called al-Islam. He chose the name of this religion. Those who accept the system called al-Islam are called Muslims. And their greeting among themselves is Assalamu alaikum. From the beginning to every single day, meeting and dialogues engulfs completely nothing but Assalam, salam, salam, which means nothing but peace, peace, peace. That's who we are. We are the followers of Sayyidina Habibuna Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of whom Rabbul Alameen said, Huwa rahmatul lil alameen, and sent him with Zikrul lil alameen al-kitab. Rabbul Alameen sent rahmatul lil alameen, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was nothing but a mercy to mankind, to the universe. He, Allah, after having him sent, challenged us. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. In the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a beautiful example for you if you want to believe in Allah. And the last day, you must follow. What does it mean? That this personality just only deserves our lip service? Or we to emulate Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in every aspect of our life? We have a duty and responsibility when we call him our hero and our leader to walk the walk and talk the talk the way he did and be the messengers of the message of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the duty today. If not every Muslim out there, I demand that from every individual who's sitting here today. Because you are the seeker of knowledge. You value education. And hear what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أَنَا بُعِثْتُ مُعَلِّمًا, I have been sent as an educator. He believed in education, and it is through education we can find liberation and liberate humanity and generations. That responsibility has been put on those who seek education, those who impart education, those who value education. Every one of us present here today knows that very well. That's why we give our hard-earned money in whatever sources that we earn, however hard that we have to work. We give wholeheartedly this money. We know that in exchange we are getting education. While this education may put us in a position to better our situation financially in this world while we're still breathing and enjoying the life on earth. On the same note, Rasulullah Islam calls you that the education and the knowledge that Islam is calling you not only makes you a better individual on this earth, but it ensures your eternity. Whatever the education that they believe that will deliver you the success that is promised, for which you're paying your hard-earned money because you believe in it, one will be that level, only that level of belief will come on the teachings of Allah and Rasulullah by the Muslims. Until or unless we have at least that level of belief that this truth will definitely deliver humanity from the crisis that they are facing, we will not be able to investigate. And that's where we are lacking my belief. I travel across the nation. I talk to individuals. But today's group is different. Even in the light of what is happening in the Middle East, I'm trying to avoid mentioning because you already know, and I want to seize every single second that I have to create that desire and thirst in you. All right, Imam, you conveyed enough. What's the point? You have all right to ask that question. The point being is, however far they have gone in doing whatever they wanted to do, did not happen overnight. Nor will the condition of the Ummah will get a better overnight. It will take time. It will take visionaries. It will take men of understanding to put together a plan and work diligently in establishing peace and justice for all. It is the basic rights of human who walks on this earth. Who is to ensure that every human being who walks on this earth will be able to walk with dignity and respect that they deserve, other than those who have been placed on this earth as representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's none other than you and me. Until or unless we realize and take this upon ourselves to be the ambassadors of peace wherever we may go and whoever is suffering, that we will voice equally for all of them together, because we are the followers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are rahmatul lil alameen, not only Muslimin. We have a duty. A community filled with shirk. Our individuals who came to the shores of America in 1930s was not allowed to set their foot on the soils of America, was returned, and every one of them died. About 70, 80 years ago, now controls the decision-making power of America. Those who are not even allowed to set their foot on the soil of America have now decision-making power. A president from a Catholic background was not even allowed to run for the White House because of his religious difference. Now, America is no longer opposed to those things. America is a beautiful country. It gives opportunity to those who are organized and strive for common good. My question is that, are our community ready for this? Are we doing? Muslim Americans are maturing to this idea. Long are those days are gone, where we used to really pray in the small rooms. We now before the building masajid from ground up. Long are those days are gone when we used to educate our children in homeschooling. We now have Islamic schools and universities. Now the time has come for Muslims to be on the decision-making group, get involved in politics, understand who's making the decisions, whose decision directly affects you and Muslims across the world and minorities. Muslim Americans can make things happen. I'll give you a couple of examples and move on. Just for you to have, it is possible here in America. Muslim American carries a great responsibility on their shoulders as the expectations of the rest of the world lies on their shoulder. If they want to utilize their position and exercise their rights to vote and influence those decision makers, they can literally enable lawmakers to pass those things that will definitely benefit not only Muslims but the humanity at large. We are in that position if we only learn how to use this. We give handsome donations, but we don't know how to ask in return the favors. No problem. We are a very young community in America. While others are learning, we are far better before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rape was declared as a war crime. That was the doing of an individual when Bosnia Herzegovina was going on and the gang rape was being done to our sisters. While Muslims were changing channels because they were watching news with sitting with their families, there was one individual who wept and cried and thought that something needed to be done. And that one individual called the meeting of the board of directors. And they said, yes, we understand, but what can we do? But if everybody says what can we do, then nothing can be done. When let's do something, then something can be done. He said that I'm not asking you to discourage me, but support me. Okay, we'll support you. Tell us what you want us to do. Let us go together. I'm giving you real life scenario. In the interest of time, I'll go very fast. Happened in Chicago. CIOGC was approached and then was given an opportunity to talk. And they have their ears. And they presented that something needs to be done in this regard. They said, okay, we agree, we need to do it. What is it that you have in mind? He said, I need you to support me with some finance. What would you do with it? I will mobilize individuals to communicate with other people and then he just outline the plan. They said, okay, right there and then, $10,000, 5 organizations give $50,000 this program started. That $50,000 enabled these individuals to hire 2 youth. They were students. Part-time they were working, helping him out. They used at that time social media and the computer and emailing, reaching out to everybody in America, those who align themselves with the women's rights. Smart thinking. When we reach with the women rights organizations, they said that it's a Muslim issue, we have nothing to do with it. We said, no, it's a women issue. It's women who's being raped. Do you not feel that? They wake up to the reality, it is true, it is women. What is it that you want us to do? We said, we are proposing a bill and we want you to support us. They gave us support of in 10 major cities in America, 100,000 people will march. Influence the lawmaker. America adopted this, presented in the United Nations, they adopted. For the first time in the history of mankind, rape was declared as a war crime that was the doing of none other than your community and my community of the Muslims. This is just one example. Muslim Americans need to understand, to engage themselves, how to engage effectively in civic engagement. Advocacy group, it is there that you make the difference. Rather than shelling out your hard-earned money and just giving and feeding and getting done with it, rather than partially that donation, use it to influence the policy maker. Position yourself into local organizations. Be in the position where you make the decision that affect directly not your community but others as well. You have a lot of khair to offer, but we are not thinking in the directions. So my beloved, in the interest of time, as I said, there is a lot I wanted to talk about, but I hope and pray that I have conveyed the message loud and clear. The work that I'm expecting for our community to do is to invest where we can be more effective in a peaceful manner by using the law of the land in our favor and advancing the cause of humanitarian wellness and well-being, not only in America but across the globe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to practice Islam in our daily life. Amin ya Rabbi. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد ان سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القران المجيد بعد اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ان خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الامور محدثاتها وكل محدثه بدعه وكل بدعه ضلاله وكل ضلاله في النار والعياذ بالله. Very briefly again, the time is not on my side. As a student, as a seeker of knowledge, any time and effort and energy and resources that you invest in, I pray that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a source of nur and hidayah and tawfiq and success for you in this life and the year after. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept you as messengers of Islam wherever you go in your life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept you in the position of leadership wherever you may be. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use you and enable you to deliver masses from the darkness into light. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use you and all of us to deliver and save the Muslims and minorities who are facing the atrocities across the globe. It is very important with the right niyyah to be of service for the humanity at large. Each and every single second that you spend in your education, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will credit that as a good deed to you. Ibadah is not only that you sit in one corner of the masjid with the zikr beats. It can be ibadah in every profession that you are, in whatever capacity that you can, as long as you do it with the right intention for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So every one of us before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here on the right path. Let us feel very positive about it. And let us have the ambition and desire, regardless of the challenges that our brothers and sisters are facing out there. We will continue to support and stand with them without any apologies. While we feeling the pain, while we will give whatever we can, we will definitely make sure we put together a plan that things like this will never ever repeat. Not only for Muslims, but for anybody out there. And it is doable if we all put our heads together and work diligently towards this. While the challenges like this are happening, occupying and calling them upwards. These are the things. 150,000 lives have been lost. 33,000 of which were none other than the innocent children in Palestine. While the world is literally giving green signal to do whatever you want, you have a week. When they've been cut off from all sources, no text messages can come out because all their phones' batteries are dead and there is no power system over there. By the time you find out, you will have no access to the facts. Don't tell me all of these things are happening accidents. And this is not the first place and the only place that is happening. Yemen has suffered similarly as well. Aftermath of this is that so much that people are still continuing to pay the price for it. We simply cannot forget our organizations are maturing and understanding and putting the buck where it matters the most. And among them are the organizations that's out there who are serving the orphans and rebuilding the lives of the individuals by empowering them through the resources that they need to have so they not only can stand on their own feet but take care of their own dependents. So support such organizations in your capacity, whatever Allah has blessed you with. But what you could do is more than just giving today. That is, put together a plan for the long term to be of service for the humanity, as we are all the follower of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the birth month of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If there is one thing that we could do is to live the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the best of our ability and let the world see who your prophet Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was truly is. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us something. Allahumma salli Islam wa muslimina fi kulli makan. Allahumma salli Islam wa muslimina fi kulli makan. Allahumma salli Islam wa muslimina fi kulli makan. Allahumma habib ilayna al-iman wa zayyinhu fi qulubina. وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين واجعلنا من الصالحين واجعلنا من التوابين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have mercy on our brothers and sisters, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, in Palestine and Gaza, Ya Allah, they're suffering and pain in their lives. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing so only because they believe in you, Ya Allah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they trust you, Ya Allah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have high expectations from us, Ya Allah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not disappoint them, Ya Allah. Do not disappoint them, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, protect them, Ya Allah, and guard them, Ya Allah. And Ya Allah, all those bombs that is falling upon them, Ya Allah, divert them into different directions, Ya Allah. And protect our ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, allow us not to be punished by these individuals, Ya Allah, collectively. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, divinely intervene and help us, Ya Allah. And we are the ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We beg of you, Ya Allah, to forgive our shortcomings, Ya Allah. Give us the vision, Ya Allah, vision of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, accept us, Ya Allah, as the ambassador of peace on this earth, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, enable the ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once again to rise to the level, Ya Allah, when others will look up to us, Ya Allah, will call our aunts, Ya Allah, to liberate them from their atrocities and difficulties, Ya Allah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask Ya Allah to grant us success in this life of the hereafter. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun al mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Aqim as-salat.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله.
Please move forward, inshallah. Look the rows first and give room for others who have this right. Please move forward, inshallah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Once again, for the opportunity as you walk out of the masjid, inshallah, you see the brothers are standing over there for the Yemen cause. Whatever you can, inshallah, support and assist. $100 will sponsor education. $100 will also pay for the teachers' fee over there that will educate 100 students at least. So there are a number of different causes. Whatever your heart feels, please do not leave the masjid without giving contribution in that regard to help build the masjid and the communities in Yemen, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have a brother today that came to take Shahada, inshallah. Just a few points. Like every time we have a brother who's making Shahada, we remind him and we remind ourselves of the 3 rules that we talk about every time. I hope by now we remember them. And I will keep repeating them every time we have a brother making Shahada, inshallah. What makes us Muslims are 3 actions of 3 places: brain, heart, and body. Okay? The heart believes that there is no God except for Allah. He's the one having no partners, no wife, no children, and that Muhammad ﷺ is his messenger and prophet. We believe that all the Prophet Muhammad and all the other prophets are human beings. They are not gods. They are not the family of Allah or anything like this. But we also know that these are the best of the human beings. These are the people that Allah chose above all billions of people across the whole history to be His messengers. So that is the action of the brain. That's the action of the heart. The action of the brain is to learn. Islam is a learning process, and when we start Islam, whether you're born as a Muslim or you become a Muslim sometime in your life, you keep learning, and there is no ceiling for this. You will keep learning from the day you become Muslim until the day you leave this life. And the last thing is the action of the limbs or the action of the body, and this is at least 5 actions. The Prophet ﷺ told us, "Bunya al-Islam ala khams." The first thing is to testify that there is no God except for Allah and that Muhammad is His slave and messenger. The second thing is to pray 5 times daily prayer minimum. There is no Muslim will pray less than 5 times a day. And then ita zakah, giving charity or giving the prescribed amount of your money, Sawm Ramadan, fasting in Ramadan, and performing pilgrimage in Mecca, inshallah, for whoever can do it physically and financially. So again, brain, heart, and limbs. I know this is a nice time where we all are happy that we have a new brother coming in. And let me remind you that the Sahaba, when they were happy, they used to say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Wallahu Akbar. So I want you to say something like this, following the Sahaba, like Sheikh was telling us. We need to follow the path and the actions and the talk of the Prophet and his companions, inshallah. So we don't need to really clap our hands. We can show our happiness. I know all of you will be happy that he is becoming Muslim, but we can do it in the way that the Sahaba did it, and the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. The last thing, I will inshallah get his permission and add him to the Yathrib program. And I am reminding you of that program. We have a lot of people signing in as either Ansar or Muhajirin, teachers or learners, and we still need more to come, inshallah. So now I will tell him the words of the Shahada in both Arabic and English, and then we will congratulate him, inshallah. So we'll say it in English first. I testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is his messenger and prophet. Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Congratulations.
is still 2 billion. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا، من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد ان سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القران المجيد بعد اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن الا وانتم مسلمون. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كلام اخر يا ايها الذين امنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. صدق الله العظيم. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I bear witness that none is worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I further testify Sayyidina Habibuna Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the last messenger and his servant. To whom Allah guides, nobody can ever misguide them, and to whom Allah leads to be misguided, nobody can ever guide them. This is what we believe. Having said this, in today's khutbah, we recite a couple ayahs of the Holy Quran in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing directly to the believers, saying that, oh, you believe, be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He has right to be mindful of, and die not unless you're in the state of Iman. And the second set of ayah that talks about is that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, oh, you who believe, prepare yourself and be in the position where you can make the decision. I'm paraphrasing for the benefit of everybody. If you really want to see success in life, both in this life and the hereafter, in the light of the current situation that is going on in the Middle East and Palestine, namely, we all know that we are prepared, we've been listening to it, we've been following on the social media and news, and we understand that. So I'm not going to convert this khutbah today into yet another news media outlet. But, however, we wanted to just look into it to see what is happening and what can we do to prevent this happening ever again. Yes, it's a very important statement that I'm making. What can we do to prevent this happening ever again. Not only for Muslims, but humanity at large. Why should we be concerned for the humanity when we are just Muslims? We should be just taking care of our own people. That's enough for us. Well, no, it's never. Why? Because as long as you claim that you are the Ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah, he was concerned for the humanity regardless of their color, creed, nationality, or race. And being his followers, we have direct responsibility and duty to be mindful of the humanity at large. In doing so, there are two things that we need to be mindful of. The verses that I recited before you, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that you, all you who believe, be mindful of Allah. Meaning, your relationship with Allah has got to be rock solid, unshakable, without any doubts. Once you have that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't sit back and relax thinking that you're a Muslim or born as a Muslim and you will die as a Muslim. That's not the case. The ayah that I recited, it starts out addressing all you who believe and ends saying that make sure you remain Muslim until you die. It means if you're not careful about it, we may leave and lose Iman without even realizing. So it's a constant effort and struggle from one side to maintain the relationship and remain within the boundaries of Islam. So I call upon myself and everybody present here today to first and foremost making sure that we will do everything that will keep us within the force of Islam by checking and revisiting our commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His deen. One of the best practices that can be adopted is that every single time when you go to bed, before you fall asleep, examine throughout the day. If you come across with something good, you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for being blessed to do good. If you come across with something bad, do not fall asleep until you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to practice. And we don't know whether we will be able to do that next day or not. It's a simple practice. If you do this, it will make you a better Muslim and better human being. And that's the purpose of our religion. Through the role model, we will be able to guide humanity toward this beautiful day. But first and foremost, we have to become the embodiment of the true teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Second, as I'm talking to the students also here, we read books, and I have talked about it in the past as well. If you want to pile those books up, it will go all the way to the ceilings. We are good in reading books, research, doing all the work and projects. But the same individuals have never had an opportunity to read Quran even once in their lifetime, cover to cover, in the language that they understand. If they have read Quran, they have not read the biography of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at least even once in their entire lifetime. My question today is that what if Allah were to ask in the day of judgment, piling up all those books that we have read, to ask us that where is the Quran in their book? Where is the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the pile of this book? And if we don't have, we fear the outcome of our results of the test and finals and exams and whatnot. How prepared are we for that final test? So therefore, when we are prioritizing our life for all other activities and studies and whatnot, where is the priority reading and understanding what Allah wants from you? Where is the priority to know the man who's supposed to be our role model, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And I'm not putting anybody on the spot, just giving myself and everybody an opportunity. If that has not yet been the case, it is not that difficult to add today. If we make the intention today, inshallah, we can make it happen. And no sooner that you adopt this, I can assure you, you will enjoy every passing life that you will bring. And it will surely beautify your life. And it will make you a better individual. That is an instant benefit. And the barakah of reading this will enhance your own studies, make you better in your tests, in your results, will make you a better human being, better colleague, better friend, better student, better professor, better citizen of this nation. Hence, while everybody in your class will graduate, you will graduate with multiple things that you have studied Islam very carefully and you have done your best to imitate Rasulullah in your daily life. And wherever you may go in the world, in your life, wherever it takes you, you will be the ambassador of peace and messenger of Messenger Habibullah Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. All of these things can be achieved only by making this simple intention and initiative. Reading Quran, one page a day, if that's difficult, one line. But do so me. Never mind whether you remember the next day or not. Just keep the habit. Right next to your bed, on the nightstand, keep the copy of the Quran. It takes only 3 minutes for a good reader to read through it, understand, and just go to sleep. I can assure you, a time will come that you will remember. I don't know exactly where it is in the Quran, but I will remember reading it in the Quran. It is in the Quran. And that in itself is good achievement. And if you make the practice of doing it, first time you finish Quran, you do it again and again and again, then it will become easy for you to live your life. Why am I talking about today? This particular thing? Because this is what we are lacking today in the Muslims. Though we may be almost 2 billion, it's not the quantity when it comes to Islam matters, it's the quality that it requires. If we have the quality individuals, they will nurture and they will go. That's what I'm hoping. Individuals present here today will become the future leaders of the communities that they will decide to decide. They will make a difference in their own societies and communities. And the times like this demand us to understand what really needed. And in a nutshell, that's what I'm hoping and praying that I will be able to convey the message. In the light of the events that is unfolding, Palestine issue that everybody is familiar, and lives are being lost. Majority of them are women and children, innocent children, who have nothing to do and cannot even understand and make sense of what is happening. Being brutally killed, mercilessly, butchered. While the blame is being put on the other side, when you try to verify there is no truth to it, when the media is literally been talking about it left and right. It's a war that is being fought in many, many fronts. Ultimately, it is Muslims and those innocent individuals stuck in that small strip. Gaza has to pay the price. What you and I as a Muslim can do from here, we have our own priorities, our life, our challenges, our difficulties, and limitations. Is that enough for us to get on the hook in the day of judgment with Allah to ask what did you do? I'm not asking everybody to quit what they're doing and that just walk over to help them out. But do what you can within your capacity. As little as just to pray, shed some tears, feel the pain as it is required. And besides giving whatever you can, as we have been, we are very good. Muslims across the world are very generous. When it's come to any causes, they open their hearts and wallets. But is this all we need? Is this the only solution to the problems? No, my beloved, no. We need to understand the root cause of this problem. We need to get to the bottom of it. And we need to see what we can do to stop this from ever happening. And that is expected from individuals like yourself to do. Be in the decision-making position. Be in connection with those who make the decision. Find a way to influence their policies that will directly benefit those minorities who are suffering throughout the world. Be it is Muslim or non-Muslim, it don't matter. As a Muslim, you have a duty and responsibility to be mindful of the rights of every single human being. And that's what your Habib and my Habib, Sayyidina Rasulullah did. And demanded from us as long as we claim to follow him and take him as a role model. Systematically, Muslims are being set up for these things. And naively, they keep falling into it again and again and again and again. Proper leadership and think tank is absent completely from the surface. A guidance that needs to be given for Muslims to be awakened to this reality is completely absent. Individuals like ourselves can put our heads together and form an organization to work towards It may not happen overnight, but it can be done if we start somewhere. Today's talk, if it falls in any year today, and he or she takes this word to their heart and makes the decision from this point onwards to respond to the calling in their life to make the difference in the life of others, I can assure you, my beloved, you'll be able to make progress in this regard. There is no shortage of resources among the Muslim communities, but we do lack the guidance in this regard. While masajids are built, institutions have been built, now it's about time that we need to engage into the decision-making process, be it is getting involved in the politics. Being an official in the area where you can influence the policymakers. Putting your dollars where it matters the most. Rather than you having to shell out money, every single last penny that you have in your pocket to feed and help those who are in need. Diversify your giving. To influence individuals whose decision can impact, where billions of dollars can be discharged from American treasury on the humanitarian causes. 6 billion with a B has been already given, over 6 billion to Ukraine. 9 billion is being discussed to be given to Israel. What Israel lost that they need to have this money? Whose money is being paid? Yours and my taxpayers. What are we doing and how is it going over there? Because they have connections with the policy and decision makers. We Muslims need to learn what can we do also to get connected with this. And things like this doesn't happen overnight and doesn't happen accidentally. It needs to be planned and worked diligently in that regard. And we are on that way. We already have become the Muslim Congress women, Congressmen, and Attorney General. We are getting there. But we need to expedite this process. We need to understand our civic engagements matters. Our advocacy groups matter. We need to strengthen their hands and make our presence known. And who is better to voice the concern for the humanity than the Muslims who are entrusted with this duty by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Who's better to do this job better than the Muslims themselves who are passionate about humanity regardless of their color, creed, and nationality and race? Who's better to do this job? Whose mission is to do this not only because they're looking any returns in this life for their work, but their eyes are set in eternity to enjoy the benefits of it. So my beloved, as this opportunity and challenges like this across the globe gives us an opportunity to talk about these things, let us put our heads together and come up with the idea to invest in the area where it can be more effective for the humanity, success and prosperity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the way to practice Islam in our daily life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to succeed in this life and the year after. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد ان سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا مولانا محمد عبده ورسوله قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القران المجيد بعد اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا مولانا محمد عبده ورسوله قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار والعياذ بالله. Very briefly, my beloved, our hearts goes out to the victims. We don't need to be apologetic in order to stand for the human rights. We don't have to be anti-Semitic, be accused and all this and that, to stand for the rights of the innocents. We can stand firm and demand the rights of those who have been robbed of their dignity and respect and even life. 150,000 Muslims have been massacred and killed over the period from 2007 to today in Palestine alone, and 33,000 of them were Muslims. 33,000 of them on kids, innocent kids. We celebrate of individuals accepting Islam, that we're supposed to do this. But are we also aware of the loss that we are suffering? Things like this not happening, my beloved. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are being invested by others, only to demonize Islam and dehumanize Muslims. 100,000 copies of a movie was distributed freely throughout America to your neighbors and my neighbors, where Muslims were depicted as haters and terrorists. And you wonder what happened all of a sudden. Your neighbor no longer talks to you with the smile that they used to. The attempts are being made to turn our neighbors into enemies and make Muslims leave Islam. Our duty and responsibility is to keeping Muslims Muslims and making our neighbors friends. And that can only happen when you open and talk and interact with them. In isolation, living is not the successful way to do it. We have a duty and they have rights on us to know about the beauty of this deen that can only be achieved through dawah and dialogues. And I have the courtesy of the pure hand today standing in the presence of the board of the directors of the masjid who gave me an opportunity to talk about this. So I did not want this khutbah only to be talking about the challenges, but to have the vision, a purpose when you walk out of this masjid, what you're going to do with your life, what legacy you want to leave behind, what impact do you want to have on humanity. If we don't plan these things together, year after year will go by, and before you even realize you have already lived our life to be impactful on others. So while it is time for us to do, make the niyyah today to be that individual who make the difference in the life of others. Make the niyyah today to be the messengers of the messenger, Habibullah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Be wise in good, giving whatever you can in your own capacity. We have individuals here today outside to receive any donation that you can give through pure hand for Yemen. They are only focused on Yemen to enhance their lifestyle by sponsoring an orphan, by sponsoring a teacher who would teach the children. I urge you all, whatever you can as you walk out, give, even if it is $1. Allah will give barakah in your life. Even if you're a student, if you need that dollar, give it with the trust of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will return you many folds in your life and it will give barakah and make it easy for you. They accept credit card, cash form, whatever way that you could, please do so. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to practice Islam in daily life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on our brothers and sisters overseas. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them and guard them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm trying my best to not to emotionally feel. If we all feel, and I'm sure everybody feels the same way, we won't be able to speak a single word. But when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can't help but think of the challenges that they're going through. Ya Allah, we beseech you, beg of you, Ya Allah, to have mercy on them. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protect them and guard them. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, save the Ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have mercy on the Ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, protect the Ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, they have high hopes with us, Ya Allah, do not disappoint them. Ya Allah, they depend on you, Ya Allah, do not disappoint them. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once again show to the world that you are there for the Muslims, Ya Allah, and you listen to them and you come to rescue them. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, find makhraj for the Ummah, Ya Allah, for these challenges. اللهم انصر الاسلام والمسلمين في كل مكان، اللهم انصر الاسلام والمسلمين في كل مكان، اللهم انصر الاسلام والمسلمين في كل مكان، اللهم حبب الينا الايمان وزينه في قلوبنا، وكره الينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان، واجعلنا من الراشدين واجعلنا من الصالحين واجعلنا من التوابين. لا اله الا انت سبحانك انا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم ات انفسنا تقواها وزكها، انت خير من زكاها، انت وليها ومولاها. اللهم انا نسالك سلامه في الدين وعافيه في الجسد وزيادة في العلم والهدى وبركة في الرزق وصحة في العقل. إلهي إلهنا توبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت والعفو عند الحساب والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك من نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ به نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأنت المستعان وإليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
اعتدلوا 30 درجة لا يمكن ذلك. جزاكم الله خيرا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم